Hello everybody, I want to talk to you today about the guided vocabulary. Now, I think before I get started, I want to emphasize to you the significance of these assignments. One of the first things these assignments will do is help you organize all of the information that I am asking you to look at, to listen to read. I do not want to just throw things at you and say, get out of this what you can, good luck. So this is an organization technique that I use to help you go through material. The second thing that I want you to know is that these guided vocabularies make up about 60% of your semester average. Now, they are, of course, done on a point system. And the average points for the average guided vocabulary is 50 points each. However, there will be several that will be longer, a little more detailed, and I will then bump that up to say 75 and or maybe 100. So you'll always want to know what are the points on these various vocabularies. The third thing that you need to know about these vocabularies is that this is what I consider your class notes. Since what we're having to do is online, not in a face-to-face class. So you're going to consider these your class notes as if you were sitting in a lecture listening to me go on and on about government or whatever the topic is for the day. Now, the reason that is important is that you are allowed to, based on these guided vocabularies, you're able to use your notes on your midterm and final exam. These are your notes, and I do allow you to use them on your exams. So these are important, and I'm trying to, and here are 3 basic reasons why I need you to take these assignments very seriously as you proceed and start thinking about the class. Another thing that I would like for you to keep in mind is that these take longer than you think. Do not put them off and do everything in your power not to get behind. So let's now look at how I format these myself. So first of all, what you see here is this one is worth 50 points. Now, on these, you will have linked, and I apologize that this did not hyperlink. So you know what you need to do is you need to go in and cut and paste this address right here. And this address will send you straight to my YouTube playlist of the Tcast. So you always start with the Tcast. I am going to tell you right now, I have to recognize inside your answers that you listened to the Tcast. I want you to remember you equate these with a class lecture. There is absolutely zero reason, that you would ever go outside of the things that I give you as your source of information. Students who do that tend to lose points. Some students get it totally wrong because a lot of these are in context of the subject matter. And so you're being provided with everything that you need. And then I also have hyperlinked a YouTube video that I believe and I want you to watch because it carries a lot of information that will help you. Now, when I do the Tcast, ladies and gentlemen, I quote lecture straight from this list. I don't get off topic. So please keep that in mind as you go through this course. Now, it says here, all answers must be in complete sentences. I'm going to show you what's not a complete sentence. Now, I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. But you have got to put some writing effort. You have got to show effort in presenting these guided vocabularies for a grade. And so I've tried to phrase these how I want you to answer them. And so first thing, when you go to do these vocabularies, answer them in the order that they are presented. As you can see here, it's done in an outline form, okay? So you want to get that going. A lot of students will just go in and type inside of this document. Some create their own. I don't care how you do this. And so what happens is, you notice I could have just said define power, but that's not what I want. That's not the thing that I want from you. I want you to define power, as I did in my Tcast, in the context of how it deals with government. Define an agenda in the area of government. I have students who will not do what I'm telling them to do. They'll Google agenda and put some rambling answer in there, and it just sends me right up the wall. Okay? And so what you can see here is you've got all of these different things. So what are 3 problematic issues? Well, that's a sentence, okay? 3 areas where elites come from. That's a sentence. Now, look right here. List 4 types of interest groups and give 1 example of each. Now, this is what I call a complete phrase. I know that sounds kind of odd, but you're going to list, and so I'm not going to be looking for a subject, verb, blah, 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 blah. You make a list, and you can say the first type of interest group is A, public interest group. You could do this, and you could say A group that. Okay? You can do it that way. If it's a list, you can list and then put an explanation after it. Okay? 1 example. Okay? So that's what a typical guided vocabulary looks like. Now, I'm going to go back over here, and here's another example. Now, what you see here is an example where I did, hyperlink. This will take you straight. Okay? This will take you straight to the YouTube playlist. Here is one of your online resources that will take you straight to the pages that will help you find an answer. Remember, do not Google. Then what I did on this one is I'm telling you which Tcast to listen to. Okay? See, watch the Tcast over historical events. And then in here, notice I hyperlinked right here because this one was a little more difficult to pull out and to find, where you could do it very, very easily. So this is another example of what the guided vocabularies look like. So the next thing we want to do is I want to show you some examples of guided vocabulary work. I'm going to show you the great, the good, the okay, and the oh my goodness. So what I have here from students just last semester are examples of what I call excellent answers. And these students gained bonus points. Yes, you can get bonus points. You could get a grade that looks like this. If it's worth 50, you might see 55. Oh, excuse me, let me do that properly. Whoops. Okay. 55 over 50. Look at that. I have some students who do 60 over 50 because they do such excellent work. Excuse me. And let me say this about that. Do the hard work up front. This is doing the hard work up front. So when it comes time for a test that's worth 200 points, you already have points in the bank. If you have built up bonus points with guided vocabulary, then if you have a misfire on the midterm exam, it balances out. But if you do the barest of bare minimums and you're losing points on the guided vocabulary, two things are going to happen. One, you don't have the information to pass the exam. And number two, you're going to lose points at both places. So be thinking about what is it that made these presentations get bonus points. Well, the first thing I want to point out to you is that this student and all the students, notice they're following mine. Look at this. See? This is how I presented it on the blank vocabulary. And this person completes sentences. This person also, I could tell she listened to my Tcast, or he, because here's a phrase I use a lot. And they put it in the right place. They underline, they're guiding me to what they want me to pay attention to. They're saying, look, Professor, I did listen. I know this material. See, whatever, they wanted me to see this for sure. See how this works? I mean, this is beautiful. Here's another one. They got excellent points. Once again, pointing out to me what they want me to see. I mean, I could tell they worded this perfectly. They did a great job. This got bonus points. Here's an example of one who was fair. They probably got 40 out of 50, 45 out of 50. And what happens is when I grade these on my computer, I type these notes to tell you what you did wrong. And for whatever, on this one, incorrect. Things like family education level, okay? This was straight from the Tcast. They didn't do this, and I think they lost 10 points. Because it has to come straight from the Tcast. I'm asking, when I do the Tcast, I say, now here are 4 factors. I mean, these are my words. This right here, what does that mean, seriously? And I do give comments, and I will put big comments, and you'll see, if you've never been graded through D2L before, you'll see where I write you something, or sometimes I will plug it in, like this, okay? Here's one that got 30 out of 50. What this says here is take this further with explanation of who was not included. What is the historical problem with the phrase all men are created equal? History highlights that was not true equality as we know today. What? What does that mean? I went into the Tcast and told you what that meant, or what you need to think about. You are wanting to write as little as possible. Be careful, as some of the items' explanations on the Tcast will be given on the midterm. No explanation. How do these factors overall impact government? By determining how far an individual will be able to go in society. What? And I asked the question back, how does government do this? See, I gave all this I would not put something here, that I do not provide for you either in a Tcast, a video, or a reading. Less is not more on these assignments. And then here's a failed grade, just bombed. This one put 2 ways of achieving these must-haves. Unable to answer because Tcast was not available. Why was it not available? Class issue, home issue, you still need to know the answer. Did you talk to your LSP? No answer, no answer. Incorrect. Tcast covered everything. This has nothing to do with this one. I was just, what is the key access to government for citizens? Unable to answer. Really? It's the very last thing I say on the Tcast. This one was bad. Okay? So I want you to study these, listen to this again. Coach Jackson will give you lots of guidance, ladies and gentlemen out there in Fosterland. He will give you the guidance you need. Ask him, does this look like what Professor Twitchell wants? And he's also grading these. So I hope this helps you as we get ready to take off on this, your last semester of being a public high school student. Thank you for listening.